Hi guys, it's Kirsty here, and thanks for tuning in to my channel Crypto Flamingo. So today I am going to do my first strategic analysis, which will be on a company called Pledgecamp. Now the reason I picked Pledgecamp was pretty simple. It was purely because when I started this activity about 3 days ago, I went on to ICOBench and it was the highest rated token offering that they had available at the time. So I thought, well, seems as good a place as any to start. Now, as I said in my intro, I will not be discussing financial stuff in terms of should you invest in them. I will not be going into great detail in terms of the tokenomics. I'm purely looking at the strategy side of the business. Okay, so just FYI, I have done a lot of background stuff, which you can see on the screen just now. But for time purposes, I'm not going to go through all this. So if you want to see any more, send me a little comment, let me know, and I can show more information. Or perhaps on my next video, if you tell me I want to see this, I'll show you. So Pledgecoin is a crowdfunding site competing with Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Now the way they're going to be different is because they will be using ERC20 Ethereum smart contracts to provide an escrow service between the backers, the vendors and the project. So that if a project fails, the money isn't just swallowed up or lost. It's actually redispersed between the people who invested in the project. But they've also got a lot of other stuff involved in their platform. So they want to do an FAQ database, which will be managed by users, and you can review questions and answers on crowdfunding or project stuff. And they're also having a social networking aspect where backers or people that are involved, users, can help with the success of a project by creating content, sharing on social media, sending out surveys, or translating some of the documentation for the company. Above that, they also have a market network. So the market network is the bit that tracks the progress. So it has a list of vendors that are approved and any communications between them and the project themselves. And it also has project updates. So the users or the backers can leave comments, ask questions, and see what's going on the project over time. So next we're going to have a look at the target markets. So the investor target market, they have said in their white paper that they want to try and increase the amount of people contributing to crowdfunding from 5 specific regions. And these are East Asia, Central Europe, Latin America, the Caribbean, and MENA. You can see the list of the countries there, and I've put them on a little map here so that you can see it more easily. So the green ones are the ones where they'd like to get more investors from, and the little red dot is the Cayman Islands, which is where their company is currently registered. However, they don't state anywhere where they're actually operating from, which is bizarre. So in terms of project founders, they've stated that they want to try and attract projects worldwide. But they also make a comment in the white paper that only 2% of VC's investment goes to women-founded companies. So that would imply that they'd like to try and get more female-led companies involved. Which is a little ironic given that the resources only shows one lady on the team who works in marketing. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one, we'll see. So next we're going to look at the marketing strategy, which is not actually very clear on their white paper or website or any other documentation. I couldn't actually find it. What I can tell you is that they talk about the social networking aspect, which is about the users trying to contribute to the overall success and marketing of the project. So that's via the content creation, social media promotion, etc. So that's one aspect. Additionally, on the resources, they have an employee there whose role is management and marketing operations. So I assume that she is going to be helping with some sort of marketing. And also on the partnership list, they have a company called Berlin Cameron, and they apparently will produce a brand identity and market positioning to most effectively spread the Pledgecamp vision to a global audience. So I don't know if that means that they intend to do this in the future, or they actually have any plans at the moment and how they're going to do it. If they did have a plan, it would have been better to put it in the white paper, but for some reason they've chosen not to do that. Next, the operational strategy. So it seems to be that they want this platform to operate as a self-sustaining ecosystem. So as you can see on this chart here, the grey filled sections are the bits that that particular resource will be responsible for. So looking at Pledgecamp, they will need to create the violations applicable to the platform, out with creating the platform itself. And then in theory, they'll probably automate the ID verification, which will be the KYC, and the listing fees, which they state will be an inverse of the backer's insurance, and the releasing of funds at milestones. So you can have a wee look at them yourself. The sales strategy, so how they make money. Now, I found this a little bit tricky to actually see. It looks like if a project misbehaves, then they'll keep the campaign deposit, which we know will be 50% or more of the total target fundraising number. They might keep a portion of the listing fees, I'm not sure. They do state listing fees will be split between moderators, but they don't say if it's 100% of the listing fees or not. They do say that they're going to hold any monies in Ethereum and Bitcoin, so maybe they're going to get some money from inflation on these. They're also going to get the money from the ICO. They've said that they're going to hold back 150 billion PLG for working capital, so that's going to be the stuff that they use for negotiating partnerships, investments, running the platform, and potentially, but probably not, they might be able to get monies from the rest of the initial moderator bonus and initial creator fund. It's like a thing they're putting in at the beginning to try and encourage people to get involved, but if these funds aren't depleted in 36 months, they're going to keep the rest, but it'll probably be done. So what's their growth strategy? I don't think they really have one. They've said that they've got all these different countries that they're going to try and get people to contribute to funding from. They also want to get projects worldwide, but they haven't said what country are you going to start with. When you're marketing, who are you marketing to? What demographic? What culture? What language? I don't think there's really any clear plan for that. I think the fact that they're trying to get people from such diverse cultures and locations could actually be detrimental to the organic growth of the company. I think they're trying to do too much too quick. I feel like their aim is for adoption. They're kind of hoping that the product is going to get uptake rather than thinking strategically about how can we start in one place, nurture the product, build it to be successful before we start to branch it into other countries, other languages, other cultures, etc. So yeah, generally speaking, their white paper was awful, 45 pages long, lots of unnecessary information and missing a lot of quite critical information as we've discussed, the growth strategy, the marketing strategy, ongoing revenues. I think it needs a bit of work. I think that their market is far too broad. They need to get a handle on who they're going to target and how they're going to target them and reach them well and show that the product works before they expand into other countries, other nationalities, other cultures. They're bitten off more than they can chew, in my opinion. Next, the operations. They've got lots of things going on. I think it would be better for the success of the business if they focused on one core aspect and got that right before they tried to move on to the next one. So it's a crowdfunding site. Get your crowdfunding sorted before you do the FAQ database, before you do the market network, before you do this social networking site. The fact that they're using Ethereum, we know that there's potentially scalability issues on this platform. So depending on how long the project duration is of a project that's got involved in the crowdfunding Pledgecamp platform, they just need to be wary that Ethereum is still going to be functional throughout the duration of the project being completed. Generally, I feel like I'm missing something because if you look at the roadmap, on 2018 Q2, Fluffy Pony spoke about it, as well as it being shown on Fox News, which makes it sound very reputable. However, from reading their white paper and the lack of information in terms of how they're going to gain money, who their market is, how they're going to reach their market, where they're going to start, how they're going to grow, it feels a little bit underthought. But that's just my opinion. So that is my strategic analysis on Pledgecamp. I hope it's been useful. If it has and you liked it, hit subscribe. If you don't, or you think I could improve anything, please leave me a comment and let me know. I'm more than happy to try and learn and get better, and I can't do that without your help. So thanks very much, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!